If you clicked on this, chances are you've spent a lot of nights staring at your ceiling, wondering if there is a glitch in your coding. You look around and see everyone else effortlessly sliding into friend groups, laughing at jokes that aren't funny, and posting photos of weekend brunch with their squad. Meanwhile, you are sitting there feeling like an alien who just crash landed on Earth without the user manual. You might think you're socially awkward, broken, or maybe even unlikable, but psychology, and I mean the deep, heavy-hitting research says something completely different. The reality is, if you struggle to make friends, it is rarely because you lack social skills. It's often because your operating system is running on a frequency that most people just can't pick up. You aren't defective. You are distinct. And today, we are going to unpack the brutal, unfiltered truth about why your circle is small, why that's actually a superpower, and why being a loner is often a side effect of high intelligence and emotional depth. Let's start with the first major reason, and this is a big one. Your BS detector is too sensitive. We live in a world that thrives on performance. Social media has trained everyone to curate a fake persona, a highlight reel. But you have what psychologists call high sensory processing sensitivity regarding authenticity. You can spot a fake person from a mile away. You pick up on the micro expressions, the forced laughter, the slight change in tone when someone wants something from you. While everyone else is nodding along to the gossip or the shallow clout chasing, your brain is screaming, "Danger!" It's physically exhausting for you to participate in the charade. You'd rather sit in silence in an empty room than spend 5 minutes nodding at someone who is smiling with their mouth but not their eyes. This isn't being judgmental. It's an evolved survival mechanism. You crave truth. And in a society built on polite lies, the person who craves truth often walks alone. This bleeds right into the second factor, which is your absolute intolerance for small talk. For most people, talking about the weather, the local sports game, or what's on Netflix is a way to bond. It's social glue. But for you, it feels like your brain is slowly dying. You don't care about the what? You care about the why. You want to know what keeps a person up at night, what their childhood trauma taught them, what they think happens after we die, or what their purpose is. This is called a high need for cognition. Your brain lights up when discussing complex abstract concepts. But here is the kicker. Most people find that intensity intimidating or just too heavy for a Tuesday afternoon. So, when you try to steer the conversation deep, people pull back. You interpret that withdrawal as rejection, so you stop trying. You realize that silence is better than pretending to care about trivial nonsense just to fit in. Then there is the overthinking aspect. Let's talk about the post-social hangover. You know the feeling. You go to a party or a dinner, you say a few things, and then you go home and spend the next 3 days dissecting every single syllable you uttered. Did I sound weird? Why did I make that joke? They definitely think I'm crazy. This is hyper self-awareness. While it feels like anxiety, it's actually a sign of high emotional intelligence. You are hyper aware of social dynamics, tone, and empathy. The problem is, your processor is so fast that you simulate every possible outcome of a conversation before it even happens. This causes paralysis by analysis. It makes social interaction feel like a high-stakes chess match where you are playing against yourself. Because it takes so much mental RAM to be around people, you subconsciously avoid it just to save energy. You aren't avoiding people, you are preserving your battery life. And speaking of battery life, let's talk about the energetic cost. For the average extrovert, a crowded room is a charging station. They feed off the noise, the energy, the chaos. For you, it's a drain. Psychology distinguishes between social anhedonia, which is a lack of pleasure, from social contact and introversion, which is just a different stimulation threshold. You likely have a lower threshold for dopamine stimulation. This means you don't need a loud concert or a massive group to feel alive. In fact, that stuff overwhelms you. You find your dopamine in solitude, in learning, in creating, in deep focus. Because you are self-sustaining, you don't broadcast that desperate neediness that helps form quick, shallow bonds. People bond over mutual need. When you don't need them for entertainment or validation, they don't know where they fit in your life, so they drift away. Your independence is a strength, but it acts like a force field. Now we have to address the scars. A lot of you watching this have a history of betrayal. Maybe it was middle school, maybe it was a toxic ex, or maybe it was a parent who was emotionally unavailable. When you've been burned, your brain, specifically the amygdala, rewires itself to view intimacy as a threat. This is what psychologists call avoidant attachment. You want connection. Deep down you crave it, but as soon as someone gets close, the alarm bells ring. You self-sabotage, you ghost them, or you put up walls so high that nobody can climb them. You are protecting your peace, but in doing so, you are isolating yourself. It's a defense mechanism, not a personality flaw. You are waiting for someone who is patient enough to dismantle those walls brick by brick. But in our fast-paced, swipe-left culture, people rarely have that kind of patience. Another huge reason you struggle is simply a mismatch in values. We live in a hookup culture, a hustle culture, a culture of look at me. If you are someone who values loyalty, privacy, and modesty, you are functionally speaking a dead language. You look at modern friendships, which often feel transactional, and you opt out. You see people using each other for networking or status, and it disgusts you. You are looking for that ride or die loyalty, the kind that existed before smartphones ruined our attention spans. Because you refuse to lower your standards, your pool of potential friends shrinks to almost zero. But hear me out. It is better to be alone than to be surrounded by people who make you feel alone. Let's pivot to the intimidation factor. This is something people rarely tell you to your face. You might be intimidating. If you are smart, observant, and quiet, people project their insecurities onto you. They think you are judging them. They think you are stuck up. Silence is a mirror. When you don't talk, people see their own reflections in you, and if they are insecure, they assume you hate them. You might be sitting there thinking about what you want for dinner, and they think you are dissecting their soul. Your resting heavy face or your intense eye contact can make average people nervous. You aren't doing anything wrong, but your presence demands a level of authenticity that most people aren't ready to give. There is also the divergent thinking aspect. You might just be weird, and I mean that in the best way possible. Your hobbies, your sense of humor, the things you find fascinating, they don't align with the mainstream. Maybe you are obsessed with astrophysics or obscure history or avant-garde art. When you try to share these passions, you get blank stares. Psychologists call this social incongruence. It's painful. It feels like you are broadcasting on FM and everyone else is listening to AM after enough times of sharing your passion and being met with awkward silence. You learn to keep your inner world to yourself. You build a rich, vibrant life inside your head that is infinitely more interesting than the world outside. So, what is the bottom line here? If you relate to this, you need to stop beating yourself up. The struggle to make friends is often the tax you pay for depth. You are trading quantity for quality. The path of the deep thinker, the empath, the visionary, is almost always a solitary one at first. But here is the good news. When you do find your people, and you will, even if it's just one or two, those bonds will be unbreakable. You aren't looking for a crowd. You are looking for a tribe. And a tribe is hard to find because it's rare. You have to change your perspective. Stop looking at your solitude as a prison and start seeing it as a sanctuary. Use this time to build yourself, to create, to understand your own mind. The right people gravitate toward authenticity. The more you embrace who you are, your awkwardness, your intensity, your unique interests, the more you will act like a magnet for the few people who are on your frequency. Don't water yourself down to be palatable for the masses. You are an acquired taste, and the people with taste will appreciate you. If you are tired of feeling misunderstood, if you are tired of the fake smiles and the draining small talk, take a breath. You are exactly where you need to be. You are not failing at social life. You are winning at self-awareness. And honestly, that is a trade-off worth making. If you want to keep diving into the dark, fascinating corners of your own psychology, make sure you stick around, because we are just scratching the surface of what your mind is capable of.